Yo, what is up? Welcome back. What is happening? Thanks so much for making it this far. I truly do appreciate it. Thanks again. I'm going to bring you along on a ride of a super sweet trail. It's one of my favorite in the region. It's a super popular trail in the region. It's super technical and it's got some cool features on it. But before we get there, let's talk about the point of this video. Now, I have no aspirations, no motivation to be a camera reviewer, to be a tech guy, to be a tech guru, because what I am is I am you. I am somebody that goes into the woods on adventures. I go into the mountains, I go on the lake, I go to the beach, and I want to bring a camera along to capture some of what I experience. And probably like you, I think that cameras are insanely expensive. And like you, I think that the market is long overdue for an affordable action camera. So when the folks at ICEFOX reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try one of their cameras, I said sure. But here's the thing, this camera retails for $50, $55 USD. And the camera that I use, the DJI Action 4, retails brand new right now for around $200. The 5, I think, retails for $350. GoPros and Insta360s are around that mark, maybe a little bit more expensive. So it would be absolutely unfair to compare this directly to those cameras and the camera that you're watching this on. Instead, what I want to do is I want to use it like you would. I want to provide you a real world experience and leave what you see up to you as far as whether or not it's good enough for what you do. Of course, I'll highlight and talk about any of the major problems that I encounter with the camera, and I'll express my thoughts on whether it delivers what it promises. But this isn't going to be a traditional review where I spend time in menus and spend time talking in depth about settings, because at the end of the day, all of us just want to hook on our camera, hit record, and not worry about a thing. Now, full disclosure, okay? ICEFOX sent me this camera for free. I've been paid nothing. I have no motivation, no obligation to say anything positive about this camera. I get no kickbacks from links clicked. My only motivation is to represent what this camera can do to you so you can determine whether it's a viable option for you. One stipulation I had when I said yes is I said yes if you send me 2 cameras so that I can give one away to one of you guys. But as I sit here and think about it, I am going to give both of these cameras away. So stick around. In a few minutes, I'll explain how you can enter to win these cameras. So when you're watching this video, I want you to ask yourself, is what I'm seeing good enough for what I do? Do I need all the bells and whistles on the latest and greatest cameras? All right, let's stop wasting time. Let's do a real quick unboxing so you know what you're going to get out of the box, and we'll get on our adventure. You know, one other thing, I've not researched any videos on this camera. I have no clue what the quality is. I've not opened the box yet. I don't know what it looks like. So as it's new to you, it's going to be new to me. So without further ado, let's see what's in here. Okay, let's see what exactly we get in this box. It's got all the typical action, sport-oriented stuff on it, all the proper wording, all the proper pictures. All right. So that's what's inside. First thing we're greeted with is a battery. 2 batteries, I guess. Kind of small, but we get 2 of them, which is cool. Here is the camera. Open this up. There we go. We got a latch. There's the back. So the camera feels very light, which is good, or it could be bad. You know, when we strap these things to our helmets or to our bodies, you know, weight, we always feel that weight. So a light camera is good. However, specifically me, I've been known to absolutely body slam these cameras between my body and rocks. So a light camera is concerning there. However, it doesn't feel too cheap. It feels pretty good in the hands. The button action feels okay. It doesn't feel robust, but it doesn't feel cheap either, somewhere in the middle. Here's the screen. We'll get this charged up and we'll see what the screen feels like. User manual, lots of words, too many words. Check that out. This box feels kind of heavy. There it is, there's your size difference. Okie dokie, let's turn this bad boy on. Alright, so we got her all started up. Let's take a quick look at the settings. Normal video, slow-mo video, loop video, time-lapse, normal photo, auto timer. By default, it's 4K 30 frames per second. They advertise that the 4K is native 4K. It's not upsampled. It doesn't appear, though, that there is an option to shoot in 24 frames a second, which is kind of a bummer because that's typically my go-to. So I'm going to keep all of this stuff kind of in auto, right? Because, you know, we want to turn this camera on and go into the woods and do all the things that they show on the box cover. We don't want to sit and play in the menus all day. That's not what we're about, right? Anyway, if you want to see what this camera does, like its full functionality, I encourage you to visit the links down there in the description. I'll provide everything that you need to know to navigate to find out all the information that you need. And I'm sure YouTube has a slew of videos where they deep dive into this camera settings and its functionality. Okay, start recording. We're recording. All right, so prepare your mind and your body to be teleported because we're going over to this bad boy. So you are on the chin bar of my helmet. My neck and my head offer some natural image stabilization, but I have EIS on the camera, which is electronic image stabilization, and we're on a road, so I'm guessing it should look pretty stabilized right now. Hey, what is up? This is Josh from the future, well, at least the future of that ride video. I just want to elaborate a little bit on the EIS crop factor. What you're looking at now is with EIS on, and here we are, the exact same shot with EIS turned off. As you can see, your field of view is greatly expanded without EIS. Gently moving the camera around as I walk with EIS on. Gently moving the camera with EIS off. So remember, as you watch this, the goal is not to compare because these cameras are in two different leagues, but the goal is to determine whether it would work for you and your needs. So when we go for the affordable car, we sacrifice features. The question is, do we need the features that we're losing with the cost savings that we're getting by going the affordable route? That's up to you to make that decision based on what you see in this video. So what are some reasons why you would want to get an ultra inexpensive action camera? Even though that the sensor quality won't be quite as good, the image stabilization might not be quite as good, and you might lose some features that are offered on the higher end cameras. Well, the first thing is affordability. That's obvious. An affordable car, an affordable camera can do a lot of things a luxury car can do. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it comes down to whether that stuff's worth paying the extra amount for. I can't answer that for you, only you can answer that. Again, which is why I'm out here doing this. The other reason being is there are features that I've done that don't have a lot of interest in doing multiple times back to back. They're dangerous and they're scary. Having this second camera on board makes it easier for me to get that third-party POV as well as my POV all in one go. Now, if you have the money, sure, you can invest into super nice action cameras. But for a lot of people, it's very hard to justify spending upwards of $600 to have two action cameras. Another possibility is perhaps you have a kid who has interest in action sports and capturing content and what they're doing. Kids lose things, kids misplace things. You know, it's a lot easier to justify a lost $55 camera than it is a lost $300 camera. Manual test in 3, 2, he jumps the gun. We're doing a slow manual. Slow, slow, slow. How slow can we go? We're almost stopped. Okay, we almost went backward. Let's test this digital zoom. Now I'm hand holding this with image stabilization on. Where's digital zoom? We're zooming guys. We're zooming 3.5, 4.55. So we're maxed out at 5. That's our digital zoom. It looks good on the back of the screen. What it's going to look like in post, I don't know. I said all kinds of witty stuff on that write-up, all sorts of things that I thought were super important. Many of which I will probably realize that wasn't the case and cut them out in post. The point is, I recorded probably like 15 minutes of video footage on that climb, and our battery meter doesn't show that we've dropped anything. I'm honestly impressed. So I have hopes for the battery life. If it changes, I'll let you know. So my neck has probably the best inner body image stabilization that I have ever known. So I'm going to take you from my helmet, put you on my chest where my pecs tell a whole different story. So let's do this. I've noticed that the back of the touchscreen is very touch sensitive. Here it's pretty dark in here actually. I would say this is low light right here. Coming in like a wrecking ball. So we've got kind of a legendary, notorious rock roll right here. Look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go, folks. Alright, let's take this camera off. We'll go back to this rock roll. Cameras never do this thing justice. Okay, so I'm going to try this just regular settings right here, and then I'm going to zoom in a little bit to get some third-person POV shots on this lab. What do you say? Let's get more cozy. Zoom, 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 zoom. I want you in my room. There we go. Actually, let's turn it up. All right, let's try slow motion. You can get slow motion with just a couple clicks on the back screen. So let's see what that looks like. So the lighting is getting better. Sun's coming out a little bit, which should mean that there's more light on the sensor, so it should pick up more detail and improve quality. The other thing that I did not think about is having like a second dedicated camera for off the body shots is great, because a lot of people rely on their iPhone or their Android or whatever their phone is, you know, to get that type of video. I like to keep my phone on me within reach. In case I crash and get hurt, I don't want to think about dragging my body to where my perfectly staged phone is that captured whatever event just took place. So I like to keep my phone on me, so having two cameras is kind of cool. And that's sort of the reason why I wouldn't consider my iPhone as a second camera option when it comes to third-party POV. And onward. Hi-yah. Forget where the trail goes. Not that way. Goes up this way. Oh. A little slow, but that's because I was trying to reposition my left hand up until the last minute. So you're back on my chest because the lighting has improved, which should help image stabilization and image quality. You know, last time you were on my chest, it was borderline raining outside. We gotta go do that again. Why? Because I did that with 1 foot on. Dude. So, as I make my way to the bottom here, the camera held up very well. I can't speak to the quality. Again, that's up for you to decide. But as far as like my experience with it, it was good. Okay, the touchscreen is sensitive, maybe almost too sensitive, if that makes sense. It took me a while to get used to knowing when the camera was recording and when it wasn't recording, because, you know, I can't babysit the back of the camera. So it did take me a while to get used to the sounds that it makes, and the screen will go blank, you know, to save battery, which is cool, while it records. Ow! But you have to hit the
power button to bring it back up, and then you hit it again to stop recording. So that took a hot minute to get used to, because the first press did not make any noise. You might be able to change that in settings, I don't know. That's why I'm not complaining about it. It's very light. I appreciate a light camera. I didn't notice wherever it was strapped, whether it was on my helmet or my chest, or whatever other parts of the body you can imagine to strap a camera to. I did not notice the weight, which was cool. I barely used half of one battery, which is awesome. I did not expect that, to be honest with you. Now, I just kept it in the normal settings, so I didn't shoot a lot of slow-mo or anything. But on my DJI camera, I would have used probably half the battery on what I just filmed. And again, they give you 2 batteries here, so that's pretty cool. This thing takes pictures, so let's see what kind of pictures it takes. Alright, so one other thing that I want to mention is that they have an app. It's the Snap Pro app. It has all sorts of features. Wow. Next step. So there's our camera app. Shows we're connected. Normal video. Let's look at our media. There's all of our media. We can select one. Select that one. And we can download. We can edit it and put music to it and stuff. Click in the settings. Again, if you want to know everything the Snap Pro app can do, all that it's capable of, I encourage you to click the links below. But you can clip and edit videos. You can see what your camera's seeing, etc. You're saying, how do I win one of 2 of these? Well, all you got to do is first subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Then give this video a like and leave a comment. Any comment will suffice. I'm not going to judge you based on the quality of your comment. I will randomly pick 2 people and contact you, get your address, and send you your free camera. One of you will get the used one that I used today, but with that one I'll include the SD card that they recommended you use with the camera. So hopefully I offered something. Anyway, always appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Peace.